There we go. Audio. I'm just looking at the meter going up and down. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna have. I'm gonna write this a little bit differently. I'm gonna write each thing with a space in between. There's their deals. Maybe paragraphs. Maybe their own paragraphs. Everyone stopped what they were doing and looked up for one tense moment. Everything was silent. Roland yelled, escape. Uh, escape. Now, now. As the doors on, as the slaves they're probably chained. Are they chained? Do they need to be chained? Because that means more work, which is, I'm not a problem with more work, but hmm. Should I assume all slaves are chained or not? I mean, it would be the smart thing to do, but then I also have to describe how they get out of the chains. They probably need to use some tools, their picks, some hammers, whatever is on hand to break the chains. Should they just assume that they can't escape, maybe? You don't have to assume everyone is chained the same way. Mixed restraint is smarter for story and logistics. It breaks on the journey. Hub, special prisoners, padlock, shackles. Oh, that's right. Light chain. When the signal hits, overpower guards first, smash cuffs. Uh, Leader's flight risk, spoke leader, John's keys. Yes, or I could simply say the signal was given. Urban Council overpowered the overseers and took the keys and started unlocking everyone's shackles. I mean, I guess that's clean and short-ish, so that will probably work, I think. Cancel free Max's office earlier. Dwarf workers, leaders on the floor. Yeah. Yeah, Dwarven Council. It's something that I sort of just put in there kind of because I didn't really think about it. The ones they had, and it was meant to be a trap, but it was a trap that didn't work. Um, that works, and with the Office Council, it's even tighter thematically. The people rolling just free became the ones who free everyone else. One continuity beat to keep straight after barging in. Quiet intrusion, the council is freed. All of them get jumped and put to work. So by the sound of thunder, they're back in the labor pool. Keys, Council versus John. You currently have John grab L1 Overseer for keys. 2 clean options. Council does the unlocking. Your line. Stuff and John's beat. Prepare the floor bosses. Simple line. Turn on their overseers. Took the keys and begin unlocking every shackle they could reach. Yes. I realized that the dwarves that were tied up would have been few, and it's like, why would they tie and gag them if they weren't important? I mentioned the Dwarven Council in chapter 11, and I'm also, just as a thing in my head, saying they're the descendants of the original 7 dwarven patriarchs. A.e. 7 dwarves. They're the descendants of 7. So there's a little bit of the governing body for the dwarves. Reference to the 7 dwarves. For the dwarves. And there are more than just dwarves in the mines. Might need to modify something a little bit. And what was that one? Oh, it's Sound of Thunder. down thunder. Saying the dwarves told all of the other slaves rather than just other dwarves. Although, generally speaking, they have a majority of the dwarves, but along with citizens of EL proper and tourists as well. So I might have to do a slight modification where I'm kind of like clarifying who's who and what they do. Let's go. Few prisoners plus gagged in the office. They're important governing body, descendants of the seven patriarchs. Not random diggers. Max Barty keep them secured upstairs. The hostages control. Force full of mixed labor that makes rolling and snapping their bonds meaningful. Workforce mix. Majority dwarves makes L2 dwarves overpower masters still feel right. Plus EL citizens and tourists matches. Okay. Yes. Sound of thunder. Whisper. Shift from whisper to nearby dwarves to something like John whispered to the dwarves near them. They'll like be the ones who after it. Light. Modify list. When you touch pages, sound of thunder word spreads to all slaves, not dwarves only. Optional one line if the office captives were the Dwarven Council. Did I already make that land hard enough? Revolt pages. Okay. So we're gonna assume, which is, it's one of those things where you're like, okay, so let me check this first here. Surprising strong for the small bodies, the gnomes heave John and Roland onto their feet, as well as the other dwarves. They retied. Okay, okay. Uh, okay. What's the deal? Let's check this out. Quiet intrusion. Oh, okay. Let me look at quiet intrusion though. Deciding to stay in stealth mode, John threw a few stones past the two guards at the door. They turned around to see what made the sound, and Roland rose like a kraken out of the water and promptly cracked their heads together. Both guards collapsed, and Roland kicked down the door, spotting the Dwarven Council tied and gagged. Roland snapped the bonds as if they were straw. As they were getting the dwarves to their feet, several gnomes surrounded them. Okay, got it. Okay. Surprisingly strong for their small bodies, gnomes heaved John and even Roland onto their feet, as well as the other dwarves. They retied the dwarves' bindings and bound Roland and John as well, and marched them to the edge of the first level. They could see the smelting of level 2. Barty the king of the gnomes was there yelling at some poor mine worker. Your Majesty, these two, said a gnome, clearly an overseer. Were caught trying to rescue the Dwarven Council, just as Max predicted. Ah yes, thorn in our sides, but now they walked right into our trap. Okay, you guys won't give us trouble after a few days of working the mines. Take them away. The gnome overseer ordered some gnome guards to take a few of the dwarves over to loading. John and Roland started whispering to the dwarves to get ready. And then the overseer marched the remaining dwarves along with John and Roland to level 2, where John and Roland nodded to the rest of them. The gnome overseer didn't see it and set a few dwarves to smelting processes. Third level where John and Roland came in. you two go over there to get your equipment, and then have this one pointing to the one of the Urban Council get you up to speed. Command the Overseer. And have and then have this one pointing to one of the Dwarven Council. Get you up to speed. Commanded the Overseer. I don't know if that's right, but as far as the spelling. They both followed the dwarf and started whispering to everyone within earshot to get ready, and that's all they said. So Roland and John went over to get rigged. And then as they were following the dwarf, they kept saying to get ready to move or we listen. As they were as they're working picking out rock loading for they're working as they were starting to work Arch, John and Roland looked to the other dwarves. The other dwarves across the mines and got a nod back. Suddenly there's a loud crack of thunder. Suddenly there's a loud crack like thunder, as if the sky was opening right above them, and it reverberated all through the mines. Okay. Everyone stopped what they were doing and looked up for one tense moment. Everything was silent. Roland yelled now, as the dwarves overpowered their guards. Overpowered the overseers. As the dwarves overpowered the overseers and grabbed their keys. Then they started two overpowered their overseers and grabbed their keys. And then they started unlocking any slave that was the general vicinity. repair their guards. And grab their keys. I started unlocking any slave that was in the general vicinity. Roland's dad pulled on the chain connected to the machine, to the crusher. And broke it easily. He then grabbed onto the collar and pulled it apart until he was completely free. He then yelled, "Now!" as well, and the dwarves on level 3 overpowered their masters and grabbed those keys and started freeing everyone. John was at level 2 near. How about let's have John at we'll say it like this. We'll do it a little bit differently for John. John was on the main floor, and as soon as he heard Roland and his dad sound their alarms, as soon as he heard the loud crack, he took his pick and tried and broke the shackles around his feet. He then ran all the way up to level 1 and jumped on the overseer. Throwing his hands, well, he knocked the overseer out and grabbed keys and started the keys, opened his shackles, and then started opening everyone that was on level 1. shackles and chains of everyone that was on level 1. Chains of every slave on the first level. On that level. On that level. Okay. Hit 1 to continue. Hit 0 to quit. Take a brief look of a sound of thunder and give them, please. It should know what I'm talking about when I say preliminary analysis, basically. Just a kind of a brief like overview, like does everything look consistent and not a lot of spelling errors and stuff. Give me a once over, whatever. Some thing. That's my belly. That's my belly. Good poor signal again. Plan on party on site. Clear face, take them away. Max predicted the trap without needing to be present. Dwarven Council name is the office prize, justifies tied to gag earlier. Smelting level L3, readable JR free whisper chain starts, nods across the floor. The thunder 3 hits, longer than the stub, but still one sync. Capture assignment prep clack. I might have to pare down all the pages. I don't even know. We'll have to see where they end up working. Overseer Parks, some on L2 smelting, and finally L3. John and Roland load carts on what reads L3. Your plan split was Roland L2, John L1, Dad. Okay. 3 signal pages. John can bolt up to L1 and Roland. Whisper scope, still mostly dwarves. One line for citizens tourists if you still want that mix. It's predicted strong implies he might be elsewhere. While Brady runs the catch. Light typos later, dwarves, bindings. Your Majesty, these two unfinished quote fill in places. Ignore for the prelim. Okay. All right. Let me go back in here to a Sound of Thunder again. So Roland John went over to get rigged it. It's fine. The dwarf that was showing them to do told Roland to go up to smelting, go up to level 2. Is there sign to work? Okay. Wait a second. Where did I not change the... Well, I thought for sure. Here. Okay, let's do a search here. Hills. Search. Oh, weird. I thought for sure I had fixed that one. Uh, ah, okay, I'll have to fix that in a bit. That's all right though. I'll fix it. Uh, well, I know I fixed everything over here in the... Right, rolling yells out. All right. Okay. Mostly dwarves. Dwarves bindings. Other than the intentional spelling of dwarves instead of dwarfs, where's the typo in dwarves bindings? I guess must be probably after dwarves bindings. Your Majesty, these two. Your Majesty. Dwarves bindings. Your Majesty. These two, said Gnome clearly over here, not trying to rescue the Dwarven Council, just as much as predicted. Okay. Finish quote. Okay. Typos and a sound of thunder, please. I'll hurry up and do so. No space. trying to rescue. Get you up to speed. Comma before command is not a period unless you make command its own sentence. Comma. You have a space. Command the overseer. Okay. Pointing. This one. Pointing to one of the drawing council. Get you up to speed. Said. Point to one of the dwarven. Point to one of the dwarven council. Get you up to speed. Period. He said, pointing into one of the dwarven council, get you. Okay. What's this? You guys won't give us any trouble after a few days of work in the mines. Take them away. Covering in our sides. I just spilled some coffee on me. I just don't want to get any on my shirt. Annoying part is I don't actually have a beard, but I can never get a smooth shave, so it gets caught in my beard, even though I don't have a beard. Okay. Oh yes, the thorn in our sides. Heroes. Hmm. They walked. Ah, yes, they walked right into our trap. You guys won't give us any trouble after a few days of working the mines. Take them away. Okay. Whoever would listen, grammar. Whoever would listen. Whoever Party, King of the Gnomes, okay. King of the Gnomes. The Overseer, quote break. Okay, check it again, please. Much cleaner ringings are almost all quote punctuation. Your Majesty, these two, said a gnome. Extra comma after the closing quote should be Your Majesty, these two. Majesty. Said a gnome. The Overseer, comma. Forgot. Have this one. Have this. This one, he said. You two go over there to get your equipment and have this one get you up to speed. You two go over there to get your equipment. You two go over there to get your equipment. Then have this one, comma. He said, pointing to one of, he said, comma, pointing to one of the Dwarven Council. Get you up to speed. Okay, that works. We'll probably go up to level 2. Yeah, Dwarven Council. Okay. To show them the dwarf that was showing them what to do told Roland to go up to level 2. Line 5, party speech reads fine now. Should both Dwarven and Council be capitalized? And do I lies the get a little confused with the quote. Most of the quote rules I get confused with. Recommended. Here's the proper name of the governing body. That's part of it. The don't capitalize the in the running pros, the Dwarven Council, same as the United Nations, the Enchanted Guard. Okay. Okay. Dwarven Council, which is probably proper. And next. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, so with the other change, then Roland goes up to L2, John stays at L3, but then runs all the way up. Actually, it's kind of far, but I'm just going to fudge the distance a bit. Up to L1. That works with the floor jobs. Roland moves to L2, John starts on L3, then bolts to L1. Dad already on L3, break free the main floors. Fudging the climb is normal. One beat of John took the stairs ramp 2 at a time, sells it without a travel log. Thunder still times everyone start, only who signals first changes 3 pages. Keep the sound of thunder signaling with that. Boned. John's still on L3 when the track hits. Okay. Now look at Roland yells out. And let me know that that looks okay as well. Okay, so it's going to tell me, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the other two. And it's like maybe I'll just get chapter 12 done today, which is kind of normal. That means it still ticks me off because that means I'll still need at least another week. A week will probably do it. In other words, next week will probably do it still, unless I'm able to get somehow magically get the rest of the text done. So. Grants. Roland sparks first. L2 rises. Dad frees himself. L3 John breaks out. Storms L1. Floors match the plan. What works? Fudge climb. Ran all the way up. Converges with the other two paths. End state. Completely. Okay. There's probably an extra. Kind of a messed up. Just completely. Yeah. Typo. Grab those keys. And grab those keys. Prepare their masters. Grab those keys. And started freeing everyone. Broke it easily. Grabbed the keys, opened his shackles, and then started open his own shackles. Started opening the shackles and chains of every slave on that level. Broke it easily. Roland's dad pulled on the chain connected to the crusher and broke it easily. Period. He then grabbed onto the collar and pulled it apart until he was completely free. And when John shackles Sutton's broke the shackles, he took his pick and broke the shackles around his feet. He then took his pick, broke the shackles around his feet. And all the way up. Taking 2 steps at a time. Then ran all the way up to the level 1, taking 2 steps at a time, jumped on the overseer. John reacts to the loud crack, while the para opens with the silence. React to the yell or crack and yell together. Everyone stop what they're doing for a tense moment. Everything's silent. Put on the chain. L3 says doors overpower masters. Really, you also want to mix slaves, doors, and other slaves if you care. These 4 doors unlocking is fine. Okay. Well, the fact is all 3 are doing things at the same time. There's the silence before rolling the axe. Roland's dad just breaks his chain and collar, presumably when he heard the crack. And John isn't really responding to the moment of silence. I could mitigate it a little by saying the only thing by saying something like John was on the main floor and didn't take any notice anyone when the rest of the mine was silent. as soon as he heard John missed the she only looks on the back or the yell. Let's got some runs. Was on the main floor and didn't take any notice when the rest of it. Okay. Take it once over and let me know now. I don't know why my throat is like this. Maybe because I've been talking a lot? I don't know. Whatever. Congestion or something. Or I feel like I talk too much. Maybe that's it. But it's like, I don't know, something's wrong down here and it's working completely. Grab slices. Optional micro only. John already broke the foot shackles with the pick. He opened his own shackles after the keys. Okay. Open the shackles around his hands. Grab the keys. Knock the overseer out and grab the keys. You knock the overseer out, grab the keys, open the shackles around his hands, and then started opening shackles and chains of every slave on that level. Okay, I think I'm just going to copy this text over and rearrange it for the order on the other two pages. That's right, I wrote maybe different spark. Somewhere that still makes sense. Okay, so let's copy this then. And the next one. It's John, then Roland, and then Roland's dad. Okay. Everyone stopped what they were doing and looked up. For one tense moment, everything was silent. John was on the main floor and didn't take any notice when the rest of the mine was silent. Any notice of the silence. Of the silence. As soon as he heard the loud crack, he took his pick and broke the shackles around his feet. He then ran all the way up to level 1, taking 2 steps at a time, jumped on the overseer. He knocked the overseer out, grabbed the keys, opened the shackles around his hands, and started opening shackles and chains of every slave on that level. Roland yelled now as the dwarves on level 2 overpowered their guards and grabbed their keys. They started unlocking any slave that was in the general vicinity. Roland's dad pulled on the chain connected to the crusher and broke it easily, and he then grabbed onto the collar and pulled it apart until he was completely free. He then yelled now as well, and the dwarves on level 3 overpowered their masters, grabbed those keys, and started freeing everyone. I like that. Okay, and then go ahead and still let's close that. Let's go ahead and still copy this. Copy. Control J. Okay, and then there's this. And then what we do here is Control V. Now it's Roland's dad. Roland's dad's turn. Roland's dad pulled the chain connected to the crusher rookie, leaving. Then yelled now, as well as he then yelled now, and the dwarves on level 3 overpowered their masters. Okay, so let's go back over here real quick. Everyone stop what they're doing. John was on the main floor. As soon as he took his pick, he knocked over the overseer, grabbed the keys, opened the shackles, and started. And then yelled down as well, and the guards on level 3. Both, the light of day. Okay, please check the other 2 pages. I'm working on the light of day, so you don't need to skim that one yet. Okay, the light of day. Once freed, while the slaves were being freed, John, Roland's dad, and the Dwarven Council Roland's dad started yelling for everyone to head in the direction of the sound. The governing council picked up on that and also started yelling it. As soon as when all of the freed slaves started to arrive, source of the sound, they saw a wrecked train. They first noticed a wrecked train. The second thing, then they noticed a big hole in the ceiling as the train had apparently crashed into the mines. To Upswood. Where the ground was thinner from all of the mining. Let's see. They noticed a big hole in the ceiling as the train had apparently dropped onto Lapswood where the ground was thinner from all the mining. The crash had made a sort of makeshift ramp with destroyed train cars and rubble from the rock, as well as destroyed train cars, dirt and rubble, destroyed trees, and the like. Dirt, rubble, and destroyed trees. Halfway staggered out of the the engine, call that. What's a train, engine, car, or cabin called? Called a locomotive. Yeah, the engine. Yes. Event V1 the one that has the conductor as he operates the train. Really, the whole car, so not just the power unit or just the crew cab. What's that whole car called? In my game, someone who was operating a train that had crashed scrambles out of that cab, and I thought they had a specific name that everyone knew. You're going to say climbed over the engine? The guy that actually rates the train is the conductor, right? The engineer, of course. Conductor is the guy that supervises the. Okay. Okay, so my character is the at the controls. It's more or less a steam train. So he's sitting where the engineer. The guy that drives the train. I know I'm still looking at that, but the engineer? I don't know. I'm thinking engineer as in somebody that engineer something, not the train deal. Engineer is still used. Okay, engineer. I mean, that's probably right. It sounds right. It's just when I think of engineer, I think of somebody that builds stuff, you know, or designs like bridges and stuff, you know. Okay. Engineers department. I guess I could say he climbed out of the front of the train or the engine or something. Dang, my voice. It's already 3:30. Climbed over the nose of the cab car. If the character was driving the actual power unit, the locomotive, the compartment is called the cab. The front of the locomotive is often called the nose. I'm a cab. Okay. Cab. Crash had made a sort of a makeshift ramp to the destroyed train cab and over called it. They scrambled of the cab and over front of the train. He was a little off balance, but quickly regained it. And then started everyone head over to the that's in the motel. Crawl up surface and Colin and John helped people up the causeway until every freed slave was completely out of the mines. Hmm. Hmm. Right on time. Say John. Okay. Of course I'm always on time. Halfway smiled. Halfway. Mm-hmm. It's nice. Halfway. I'd like to introduce my father. Father. Roland Sr. Eh, Roland, nice to see you. Been a while. Hmm. Halfway was praying. Halfway had tilted his head. Nice to see you, old friend. It's been a while. Halfway tilts his head back as far as it would go. In order to look at Roland Sr. You already... Okay. Of course, my lad. I know pretty much everything that goes on around here. Now, let's all go back to the bats. Hmm. Hmm. Roland, John, and Halfway scrambled up top, and when they were on the surface, Rollins told everyone to stand back as he took a couple of steps to join them. Okay. All right. S. Oh. Both look good. Same toolkit. Right order for each hit. Is the silence works in giant problem. Optional micro. John first path. You want all three to voice a symbol. Okay, let me go back to John the Overseer. He yelled, "Now!" And then ran all the way up. He jumped on the Overseer and knocked him out. He jumped on the Overseer, comma, knocked him out, grabbed the keys, opened the shackles around his hands, and then started opening the shackles. Okay. Fixed the John first page. Yelling now. Oh. He ran all the way up the level, took one of the he yelled now, and then jumped on the Overseer. He knocked the Overseer out, grabbed the keys, grabbed his keys, opened the shackles around his hands, and then started opening the shackles and changing very slave and low. Okay, let me fix those though. So we'll see. Dang it. Bonio's out. Okay. Fixed John filling now on all three pages and finished light of day. Give me a quick once over, please. Okay. I'm supposed to be off already, but I have to finish this. I must finish chapter 12 anyways. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I didn't. I had 7 chapters to do left. Now I have 6 chapters. Kicks me off though. I wish I could have got it done. I'll get enough done, but a giant problem. Let's just end it. Control S. Okay. That's okay. Live day works. Freeing head. Rectal. Halfway out of the cab. Bats in the belfry. It's elsewhere. Okay. All right. And it isn't apostrophe anyways. It's plural, so that was just my fault. The belfry. Right on time. Close the quick painting. Right on time. Right on time. Quote. Right on time. Comma. Quote. No space. Oh, where is already? Already. Really know my dad. Hotel. I'm on the fence. Its official title is motel because of the moat. But for all intents and purposes, it is a motel. However, it parking in the front is remote. But I'm always on the fence as to how I write it. Always on the fence of how I write it. Hyphenated compound like a real inn sign. Motel. How it keeps motel plus motel visible. That's the pun, right? Short motel or the bats. For reference. This is the moat joke. Motel. Harder to read. Motel. Looks like a typo. Just gonna still say the bats. Casually. Block it. Motel with a hyphen whenever the pun name appears. You're not wrong either way. Okay, so just with the official title. So they usually call it bats for short. I don't know. I've been spelling it so it's probably fine. Eventually, the pun will actually be only visible, only visual on signs and such. It's a clean split. Sign official bats and bow for you. In the pun speech bats. Later art. Doesn't need to sell it every time. Okay, so everything else looks good then. My dad's playing music. I don't know if you can hear it because it's not registering on the meter there. So probably can't because I got the noise suppression on and it's through my door and everything. I don't like the sound of thunder right now. I don't want it to rain. No, it rains all the time here. Now's the lion live day. I'll have to do the tabled stuff. Roast smelt. Okay, thanks. That's it for today. Let's manage another bonus tonight. Okay, so that means okay. All right. Okay. Good evening, Rook, and almost goodbye because I'm almost done. So I didn't see you there. I'm gonna do my recording here. Today is Thursday, August 20th, 2026. And today I got just I guess 5 pages done, I think. Let's see. Barging in, quiet intrusion, inherit sneaking around. No. That was yesterday. The sound of thunder. Okay. So it's a sound of thunder. Roland yells out. John and the overseer. A giant problem. And the light of day. So 5 pages done today. Not great, but got chapter 12 done. So now we actually officially have 3 chapters left. Yeah. Terror in the skies. Okay. So chapter 13 is next. Anyways, that's what I got done for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later.